Hi my beautiful peoples, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Dropping this first episode. Thank y'all for tuning in with me. Every episode that I'm doing here will be different topics, so if you guys have any topics that y'all like me to do, please comment them down below, or y'all could even DM me on Instagram. So yeah, let's get into it. So today's video is going to be on some words of motivation that I have for you guys. About using what you've got. For example, I've been meaning to do this YouTube podcast and for a while now, and I've just made excuses. It's always something like, oh, I gotta go to work, or I gotta do this. And I feel like a lot of times in our life, you tend to put the important things off to the side that you really need to take care of, and things that you're destined to do, things that you're called for, right? So it's we tend to make excuses. So for example, if you want to be a content creator, some of you might be making excuses as to, oh, I don't have a microphone, or I don't have a nice phone, I don't have a nice camera, or I don't have enough time. Well, you need to learn how to make some time and use the resources that you have. So you don't need a nice fancy microphone, you don't need the whole setup, as long as you have a phone that works with a camera, that's all you need. So another example, let's say you want to be a musician, you want to make music, and you're making excuses as to, oh, I'm not a good writer, or I don't have this, or I don't have enough great producer or great team behind me, or I don't have nobody helping me. And realistically, you can just go out there and do it. You don't need, of course, a support team and all of that would be great, but the whole point of this message is to use what you've got, use what you have now to make it to where it is that you want to be. So if you're saying you don't have time, then make time, because we have 24 hours in a day realistically. So put that time to the side to do your purpose. If you want to start that business, go start that business. If you want to start that channel, go start that channel. If you want to start that blog, go start that blog. Start now. Why wait? Now is the time to plant your seeds. Plant your seeds. They're not going to grow to the next day. So you plant them, you harvest them, you take care of them, you tend to them, and you're going to watch it grow. You're going to watch your fruits grow, your harvest. Everything is going to be beautiful once the flowers and everything starts blooming. But first you need to plant it. So I was saying with, making excuses, that I felt like I never had enough to start my channel. I always made excuses for myself, and realistically, there is no excuse, at all. So here I am. Y'all gonna see me more. So enjoy. But yeah, so I just wanted to share a quick story with you guys that helps me, and it would help you guys to remember to use what you've got, and be grateful for the little that you have now, so that you can have more later, and you can know what to do with it when you do have it, because you don't want to fumble it. You can't fumble what you have when you get it. So yeah. Okay, so this story is about these 3 servants that was working for this man, and he went on a trip. And then he told them, look, I'm giving y'all each some money, different amounts of money, according to their abilities. And he didn't tell them what to do with it. He's like, I'm gonna be back. I'm going on my trip. Some of them used it wisely and other ones didn't. So I want you guys to hear the story, because words are very... So let me go ahead and read it really quickly. Parable of the 3 servants. Again, the kingdom of heaven can be illustrated by the story of a man going on a long trip. He called together his servants and entrusted his money to them while he was gone. He gave 5 bags of silver to one, 2 bags of silver to another, and 1 bag of silver to last, dividing it in proportion to their abilities. He then left on his trip. The servant who received the 5 bags of silver began to invest the money and earned 5 more. The servant with 2 bags of silver also went to work and earned 2 more. But the servant who received 1 bag of silver dug a hole in the ground and hid the master's money. After a long time, their master returned from his trip and called them to give an account of how they used his money. The servant whom he had trusted the 5 bags of silver came forward with 5 more and said, Master, you gave me 5 bags of silver to invest, and I have earned 5 more. The master was full of praise. Well done, my good and faithful servant. You have been faithful in handling this small amount. Now I will give you many more responsibilities. Let's celebrate together. The servant who received the 2 bags of silver came forward and said, Master, you gave me 2 bags of silver to invest, and I have earned 2 more. The master said, Well done, my good and faithful servant. You have been faithful in handling this small amount, so now I will give you many more responsibilities. Let's celebrate together. Then the servant with 1 bag of silver came and said, Master, I knew you were a harsh man, harvesting crops. You didn't plant and gathering crops, didn't cultivate. I was afraid I would lose your money, so I hid it in the earth. Look, here is your money back. But the master replied, You wicked, lazy servant. If you knew I harvested crops, I didn't plant and gathered crops, I didn't cultivate, why didn't you deposit my money in the bank? At least I could have gotten some interest on it. Then he ordered, Take the money from this servant and give it to the one with 10 bags of silver. To those who use well what they are given, even more will be given, and they will have an abundance. But from those who do nothing, even with what little they have, will be taken away. Now throw this useless servant into an outer darkness, where they will be weeping and gnashing of the teeth. Here what stood out to me was that he gave them all dividing into proportion according to their abilities. No more or less than they could handle in that situation. So remember that God always knows what you need. So I'm gonna read this really quick. The master divided the money among his servants according to their abilities. No one received more or less than he could handle. If a servant failed in his master's assignment, his excuse could not be that the job was too big or he had too much to do. Failure could come only from laziness or hatred for the master. The money in this story represents any kind of resources we're given. God gives us time, abilities, and other resources to invest wisely until He returns. The issue is not how much we have, but what we do with what we have. How are you investing what God has given you? If you guys have any questions, please comment down below. But yeah, let me close this video out really quick to remind you guys, don't let your emotions control you. Start now. Don't waste time. Remember to make time. Nothing changes, then nothing changes. Like, you need to make the change. You need to start that project. Start that thing that you've been putting to the side. Start now. How could you know you're gonna fail if you haven't even tried? You fail when you don't even try. You fail when you quit. So I believe in you guys. I love you guys. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Please like, comment, subscribe. Until the next one. Today's video is going to be about 3 servants that were working for this man, and they were